I think this is funny that I just did a video a couple hours ago about books that I have had for a long time and haven't read yet, and I just went to Kohl's and bought 4 books. And I want to show them to you. I'm not going to post them on the same day though, this one's going to come up a little bit later so they can be spaced out a little bit. Obviously, when you're watching this you would realize that. But this is what I have realized, that I can go to Chapters for hours and come out with 0 books. This is what I normally do. I pick up a book, usually, it's horrible, I totally judge books by their covers, but I find a book that I think looks really cool, has a really cool cover, and I pick it up and I go, ooh, this looks cool, and I read the back. And sometimes I'm not even halfway through the synopsis and go, eh, and put it back. Or sometimes I'll read the synopsis and be like, ooh, that sounds interesting, so I'll read the first page and go, eh, and put it back. But then there are times when I find a bunch of books and I'm like, oh my gosh, I like this, and I like this too. But I find it difficult for me. It doesn't happen very often. A lot of the times when I go to Chapters, I don't end up buying anything, or I'll buy 1 book. So, over the past year or so, I have read a lot more books, and a lot of them have been recommendations. And this is normally what happened. Like, this is what happened with Divergent. Somebody told me, oh my gosh, you need to read Divergent because it's amazing and this is what it's about. And I thought, yeah, it sounds pretty lame, I'm not going to read it. And then somebody else was like, you have to read Divergent, it's amazing. So I was like, So I went on Goodreads and I read the synopsis and I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound very good, I'm not going to read it. And then somebody else was like, oh my gosh, you have to read Divergent, it's amazing. So I was like, oh my gosh, everyone is saying this book is amazing, maybe I should just read it. So I went and I bought it. And normally, I would pick the book up, read the synopsis, and read a page from it. And I probably would have been like, meh, and put it back. But I just went and I bought it, and I started reading it, and it was amazing. My mom told me to read The Forest of Hands and Teeth, and I looked it up on Goodreads and was like, meh, and I didn't want to read it. And then she gave me all the books and was like, read them. And I was like, And if I picked up the book in the bookstore, I would have read the first page and been like, meh, and put it back. But because my mom recommended it to me and she told me I would like it, I read it and I liked it. Same thing happened with The Night Circus. So I realized that maybe I should just listen to people when they recommend books and not judge the book on the synopsis or the first page. Since it has happened a lot lately, I have been more open-minded about books. So I was hanging out with my friend last night, who I haven't seen in a while, and we were talking a lot about books, and she recommended 3 books to me, and I was immediately excited, because I was like, I have been reading a lot of book recommendations lately, and been liking them, so I went to the movies with my boyfriend tonight, and we went to Kohl's in the mall first, and I bought them all, plus I bought a book that everyone has been talking about, and saying wonderful things about it, so I decided to get that one too. The book that I got that I've heard many things about is The Fault in Our Stars. All over Goodreads and YouTube, everyone is saying that it's a wonderful book, that it's like a beautiful story and everything, so I kind of wanted to read it. So I'm excited to read this one. That's by John Green. And then the 3 books that my friend recommended, and I wasn't going to get all 3 of them, I was just going to get 1 or 2, but then they were all there and 2 of them were 2 for $25. So I got Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. And it's about someone who, like, has short-term memory loss or something. She wakes up and she doesn't remember anything. So that sounds pretty interesting. And then The Glass Castle, which is a really screwed-up story, apparently, about someone with a screwed-up childhood, and it's, based on the author's life. Apparently it's a little disturbing, but really good, so we'll see how that goes. And then I got Room, which I'm not really sure what it's about. A little boy living with his mom in some prison room or something. And apparently it's also kind of disturbing, but really good. So I am excited to read all of these books, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself because, like I said in my last video, I just started reading 11/22/63. I'm only on chapter 2, but I kind of want to read The Fault in Our Stars, like right now. And I feel kind of bad because my dad got me the Stephen King book, and every single time I talk to him about books that I'm reading, he's always like, did you start reading the book that I got you? Did you start reading the book that I got you? And I'm like, it'll be next, it'll be next. And really, I never wanted to read it because it's so giant. But now that I've started reading it, it's good so far. I mean, I haven't read very much of it, but there's nothing wrong with it so far. But I don't know. I want to read this one. Is that so bad of me? It's not a very big book. It probably won't take me very long to read, and then I can just go back to the Stephen King one. I'm a horrible daughter.